Good evening and welcome to the news live on Rupavahini ChannelEye. I'm Sharon Mascarenhas.
Good evening, I'm Clifford Richards. First of all, we take a look at the headlines. Grades 10 to 13 of all schools will commence tomorrow. Rainy weather and wind speed in sea areas will increase within the next 2 days. The number of COVID patients increases gradually. French sports events are to be conducted in the country to promote tourism. The Prime Minister's Trophy International Football Tournament will commence tomorrow. Moving on to the stories in detail. Well, academic activities from grade 10 to 13 of all government and government-approved schools will commence tomorrow. The Minister of Education says that all measures are in place to commence studies according to health protective measures. Well, the Minister of Education took steps recently to open schools under several stages. Under the first phase, primary grades of the schools with less than 200 students were commenced on the 21st of last month. Academic activities of primary grades of all schools commence on the 25th. As a second step, academic activities from grade 10 to 13 will commence tomorrow. Minister Dinesh Gunawardena said that dates have been fixed for the GCE, O-levels, A-levels and scholarship examinations. All parents want to provide education to their children, which is the greatest gift. The government is committed for that goal, he said. Secretary to the Minister of Education, Professor Kapila Pereira, said that the National Institute of Education has prepared all groups. Calculations have been made and the time is given for each grade to cover various subjects.
ඔක්කොම එකහ වෙලා හදලා තියෙන අපිට අමු වශයෙන් දින 100ක් ඕනේ. ඒ කාලය තුල අපි ගණනය කරලා තියෙනවා කොයිතරම් ප්‍රමාණයක් අපිට අත්‍යවශ්‍ය විෂය කරුණු 2020 එක පන්ති හිටපු ඒවා 2021 දෙක පන්ති. එතකොට මේ සඳහා කාලයක් ගත කරලා අපි හැම ශ්‍රේණියක් සඳහා මෙහෙම දීලා තියෙනවා.
Teachers, parents, school development societies and past pupils associations have supported to clean schools. Parents say that they are happy for being able to commence educational activities of the children which have been disrupted for a long time. Meanwhile, State Minister Professor Channa Jayasumana requested not to forget face masks. Gatherings should be minimized. Diseases related to fever could be increased in November and December in the country. He requested to undergo tests for COVID if they have any symptoms of fever or flu, irrespective of age.
Sluice gates of several reservoirs in the central province have been opened with heavy rains. Engineers in charge of reservoirs have requested the people living in low-lying areas to be vigilant. One sluice gate of the Upper Kotmale Reservoir was opened this morning. Residents on either sides of Kotmale Oya should be vigilant since sluice gates automatically opens if the rain continues. Water capacity of St. Clair and Devon Falls have increased with heavy rain. Three sluice gates of Laksapana Reservoir were opened yesterday. Assistant Director of Nuwara Eliya Disaster Management Unit Ranjit Alakon says that Vimala Surendra Reservoir is overflowing. Engineers say that the electricity generation is taking place in maximum capacity with the increase of water levels of the Canyon, Laksapana, New Laksapana, Polpitia and Vimala Surendra reservoirs. Three sluice gates of Polgolla Dam have been opened due to the increase of water level in Mahaveli River. Several access roads of Southern Expressway have submerged due to heavy rains in the Galle district. Damadeniya Kurunagala Negombo Road have been blocked for about 3 hours due to a fallen tree this morning. Several paddy fields cultivated in the March season at Vaunia have submerged due to the inclement weather. Water levels of main tanks in the area were also increased. Vehicle movement was obstructed at Akuran area on the A9 road due to the increased water level of Pingaoya. The Met Department says rains or thunder showers will occur in western, Sabaragamuwa, central and northwestern provinces, Galle and Mathura districts. Rains of more than 100 millimeters can occur at certain places. Rains or thunder showers will occur in other areas of the country in the night. Rains of more than 75 millimeters can occur in certain areas. The Met Department has requested the public to take precautions to minimize accidents which can take place due to strong winds and lightning accompanied by thunder showers.
Well, the 54th commemoration ceremony of the late D.A. Rajapaksa took place today near his statue on the Tangol Mahavela Road under the patronage of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. The Southern Provincial Council former member Kapila Disanayake, Chief Deputy Secretary Upul Disanayake and former Chairman of the Southern Provincial Council Somowan Sakodaguda garlanded the statue of the late D.A. Rajapaksa on behalf of the commemorative committee. Thereafter, students of the Puakdandawa Girls' School sang the D.A. Rajapaksa commemorative song. The President, Prime Minister and the family relatives paid floral tributes to the statue. A group of parliamentarians, including Speaker Mahinda Abeyewardene, were present on the occasion. The Chief Prelate of the Thangal Wagegoda Historic Vajragiriya Temple and Chief Judicial Prelate of the Southern Lanka Venerable Mirisse Dhammavansatera delivered the Anusasana. Meanwhile, the President and the Prime Minister, who went to the memorial of D.A. Rajapaksa and Mrs. Dona Dandina Samarasinghe at Veerakhettiya Madamulana, lit lamps in memory of the parents. Minister Basil Rajapaksa were also present on the occasion.
State Minister Professor Channa Jayasumana says that there is a gradual increase of COVID-19 patients from last week. The number of COVID patients passed 600 mark yesterday for the second consecutive day. 617 COVID patients have been reported yesterday. 458 COVID patients were found from the country today. 16,049 are undergoing further treatment. 271 have recovered from the virus today. 183,000 have recovered from the virus so far. State Minister Professor Channa Jayasumana said that there is an increase of corona patients during the past week. After removing of restrictions, people have started to behave as if there are no COVID in the country. There is a tendency of a fourth wave in the world. Western countries expect that there will be a fourth wave. There is a request to the public from the health service to be careful. With the rainy season, there can be more respiratory diseases. People have to be cautious since there is a risk. It is essential to wear face masks.
සූදානම් වෙන්න ඕන කියන එකයි අපේ අදහස. ඉතින් සෞඛ්‍ය ශාස්ත්‍ර පැත්තෙන් අපි මේ ගැන විශේෂයෙන් සැලකිලිමත් වෙනවා. ඉතින් ජනතාවගේ පැත්තෙනුත් මේ ගැන විශේෂයෙන් කල්පනා කරන්න කියන ඉල්ලීම කරනවා. මොකද වැසි කාලේ තමයි මේ ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ. හැමතැනම වැස්සත් එක්ක කොහොමටත් ශ්වසන රෝග එහෙම පැතිරෙන්න තියෙන අවදානම වැඩි. සෙම් තත්ත්වයන් උද්ගත වෙන්න තියෙන අවදානම වැඩි. නිසා මේ ටිකේ විශේෂයෙන්ම පරිස්සමෙන් කටයුතු කරන්න කියන ඉල්ලීම අපි නැවතත් ජනතාවගෙන් කරනවා. විශේෂයෙන්ම මේ මුහුණු ආවරණය මේක පළඳින එක නම් අත්‍යවශ්‍යයි.
The Director General of Health Services confirmed today 15 COVID-related deaths which occurred yesterday. 12 out of them are 60 and above 60 years. Among the dead are 3 persons between the ages of 30 and 59. Giving the booster dose for the frontline health staff is continuing island-wide. 29,428,533 vaccine doses have been given to people under the COVID vaccination program. 15,796,673 have been given to the first dose of the vaccine. 13,577,829 have been given both doses of the vaccine. 54,031 have been given the booster dose. Meanwhile, 5 ventilator machines were donated to the Madragiriya Base Hospital by the 23rd Brigade of the Army. The value of the machine is about 7 million rupees. Sacks of dry rations were distributed yesterday among the people in Benthota area affected by the corona pandemic at the Benthota Gane Purana Rajamaviharaya. MP Shan Vijayalal was present on the occasion.
The government has planned to conduct French sporting events in the country to promote Sri Lanka's tourism industry. Sri Lankan Airlines said that French tourism industry has extended their support to this move. Well, Sri Lanka has got the opportunity. With the commencement of the direct flights to France after 6 years, it will support to uplift Sri Lanka's tourism industry again. It has been decided to conduct the competitions annually in Sri Lanka, centered on various global tourist attractions. Accordingly, the competitions will be organized at Sigiriya, Habarana, Kaudulla, Morugahakanda areas, highlighting cultural and environmental beauty in those areas. The first phase will be held from 13th March to 23rd March next year. The second phase from 27th March to 6th of April. About 550 sportspersons are scheduled to take part in the events. Sri Lankan Airlines said that the annual competitions have been organized by paying attention to tourist destinations around the world. Accordingly, Sri Lankan Airlines has become the official airline partner for the 2020 or 2020 Red Amazons. Chairman of Sri Lankan Airlines, Ashok Patirage, Jane Lois Konesa of the Red Amazons, and a group of people were present to introduce the event.
The main challenge faced by the world at present is climate change due to the impact on the environment by humans. In such a background, there were reports about a person to protect the environment.
Singharaja or any other forest in Central Hill. This is a very populated area. I mean a private forest which is situated in Gampaha, Mirigama.
Kavindya Jayasekara is keen to increase forest density in her private land at Mirigama, Kaluaggala in the Gampaha district. Her land of 15 acres includes nearly 4,000 plant varieties. Kavindya lives with her daughter in a 550-year-old house in the forest. She's engaged in literary work and leads a calm life amidst the beauty of nature.
I'm really happy with the fact that I own a private forest land with the Kakuna dollar by birth. I have seen how my grandparents and my ammi have committed themselves in protecting this environment throughout the years. Every story my ammi told me about my Siya was that give care and love to environment, consume local or traditional medicines, and to live happily. Every day, every morning, we are so blessed to start our days with the chirping of the birds and the sound of the falling dewdrops. During my journey to France, what I heard was that Sri Lanka is a small paradise on earth. And I am really proud to be a part of that paradise and to own our private forest land of ours. Trees live their lives too. Therefore, please commit to protect wildlife and rainforest around us in any way possible.
Everyone belongs to heaven. We belong to private heaven. We both are really happy.
In an era where people around the world are affected by climate change, showing a keen interest to maintain private forests should be appreciated. This land in Mirigama is similar to a small Singharaja forest. It gives an immense support to biodiversity. The world leaders paid their attention on minimizing climate change at the COP26 summit. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa emphasized that the forest cover should be increased to minimize. Truly refreshing indeed. We continue with more local stories. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa paid their last respects this afternoon to the late Chief Prelate of the Jetavana Temple and the Chief Judicial Monk of France, former senior lecturer of the Colombo Malikakanda Pirivena, Rajakiya Pandit Venerable Dr. Murungasyaye Nyanissara Thera. His remains were kept at the Veerakatiya Vitharandaniya Kudabandigama Sri Sudasanananda Temple. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa paid their last respects to the late Thera this afternoon and conveyed their condolences to the Buddhist monks at the temple, members of the Dayaka Sabha and the people in the area. The ceremony to unveil the pinnacle of the new stupa of Thangol Kadurupukuna Jayasundara Historical Temple took place yesterday with the attendance of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, committee member of the Sangha Sabha of Rohana Chapter Shamapali Mahanikaya, the Chief Prelate of Jayasundar Historic Temple, the Venerable Vitarandini Jnanaratana Thera unveiled the pinnacle. The Premier made the offering of flowers to the stupa. The Anunayak of the Rohana Chapter of the Shamapali Mahanikaya, the Venerable Omare Kassapa Thera, the Mahasangha and former chairman of the Southern Provincial Council, Somoan Sukodaguda, were present on this occasion. Constructions of the Thangol branch of the Regional Development Bank's Hambantota District Zone Office commenced this morning under the patronage of the Premier. It was on an invitation from State Minister of Samurdhi, Home Economy, Microfinance and Self-Employment Development, Shehan Semasinghe. The new branch is being built by the Regional Development Bank to provide a better service for the customers. Minister Namal Rajapaksha, State Ministers Shehan Semasinghe, D.V. Chanaka, Tenuka Vidanagamage and Janaga Wakkumar were present on this occasion.
The Mahanayakas of the Asgiri and Malvathu chapters were briefed on organic cultivations. Venerable Medile Panyalokathera and the Mahasangha led the initiative. Attention was paid on the experiences of the farmers who cultivate crops using organic fertilizer. The Mahanayakas were briefed on the problems of farmers identified by the Mahasangha during their observation tours in the North Central province. Meanwhile, placing of the crest gem on the pinnacle of the newly built Sandahirusaya at Anuradhapura Sacred City will take place tomorrow. Defence Secretary General Kamal Gunaratne made an inspection tour today to look into the present situation of the Sandahirusaya. The Sandahirusaya Stupa is being built in memory of the war heroes who sacrificed their lives to end the 3 decades of LTT terrorism. Constructions have been completed by about 99%. Several other sacred places, including the relics chamber and the museum, are being built. Defence Secretary General Kamal Gunaratne said that the public was given the opportunity to pay homage to the crest gem of the stupa, taking it around the country for 47 days. The ceremony to place the crest gem on the pinnacle will be held. Thereafter, on the 18th of this month, a ceremony will be held at 4:30 p.m. to offer the stupa to the Mahasangha.
Well, we now have more local stories in brief. Well, Colombo's Central Police Division seized 65 kilograms of Kerala cannabis today following a raid conducted at Keselvatta area. 4 grams of heroin and currency notes to the value of 782,000 rupees were found. 30 suspects connected to various crimes have been arrested. The raid was conducted jointly by 8 police teams with the support of the Army and the STF. The 6th commemoration ceremony of the Venerable Maduluave Sobita Thera took place today at the Kotte Nagavihare. Floral tributes were paid to the statue of the late Thera. A blood donation campaign took place to coincide with the event. The ceremony was held under the patronage of Minister Dinesh Gunawardena. The group of people, including MPs Jagat Kumara and Yadamini Gunawardena, were present on the occasion. A carcass of a 30-foot whale had been washed ashore on Hikkadua beach yesterday. People in the area said that the carcass was heavily decomposed. Hikkadua Mayor Winnie Kariwasam said that the carcass could be buried.
Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa Trophy International Football Tournament will commence tomorrow. Sri Lanka will play its first match against Maldives. The tournament is held with the participation of Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Maldives and Seychelles. Team captains and coaches attended a media briefing today. This is the first time where a 4-cornered international football tournament is taking place in the country. All matches are scheduled to be played from tomorrow to the 19th at Racecourse Grounds in Colombo. The first match of the tournament between Bangladesh and Seychelles is scheduled to commence at 4 p.m. tomorrow, while the match between Sri Lanka and Maldives will be played at 9 p.m. Sri Lanka team will play their second match on the 11th against Seychelles. Sri Lanka is scheduled to play the final of the first round on the 14th against Bangladesh. The 2 teams who will take the lead in the first round will be qualified to play in the final, which will take place at 7 p.m. on the 19th. The tournament has been jointly organised by the Sri Lanka Football Federation and the Sports Ministry.
Well, on that note, it's time to end the news. Do enjoy the rest of the program. Take care and good night. Stay safe.